This deck profile is Dragon Link, but it's Dragon Link with a twist. The theme behind the deck was my girl. She basically inspired me for me to make a different version of Dragon Link. Went to locals, went X1, 5 rounds, 5 or 6 rounds, something like that. My only loss was the virtual war. My boy Kevin playing the deck. He's been doing really good with the deck for the last month, 5, 6 weeks actually. Hasn't really been losing much, so I know his virtual war list is really crispy. It's really nice. But it's Dragon, like I said, it's Dragon Link with a twist to it. It's you can still do the Spirit mode and the Savage and all those things, but put a little bit more spin. It's a 50-card engine. The reason why it's such a high number, there's 10 cards probably dedicated to going second, because of with the engine that's in there. So primarily I want to go second and going first, but we'll get into the deck profile. And shout out to my girl Grace. So primarily the deck, I was borrowing Power Prosperities. I only own one at this time due to circumstances, but this card is what makes the deck really good. After Pot of Greed, I think this is the best pot card, not Desires, because it could choose to banish 3 or 6, and I get to see what I want to banish. I think this card is extremely insane, and without this card, I don't think I will accomplish what I did. Then the card I'm talking about is like the Gamma package. Primarily Gamma is a very underrated card. Hand trap, really good going first or second, probably going second. And with the opening up pot, being able to banish 3 cards from my extra deck, I can choose the adding card I want. And I'll have these cards as Dragon Link. One of its best point of it is struggle of the deck is LP being banned doesn't really hurt it as much, but Striker Dragon going to 1 is what hurts. So you have to the recursion isn't as strong as before, but it becomes more of managing your resources. So while theorizing with the deck, this is my first time playing it, but this was all based off of theory. I wanted to play cards that can go first or going second. And hindsight, you would think that Lightning Storm and Evening is bad, but when you have a format that is so diverse, where you have back row decks, you have combo decks. Drytron isn't primarily the best combo deck, or there's so many variant. This hits everything. So you have even Solid could lose to Evenly Match or Lightning Storm. Trap Tricks is a really popular deck, especially the Amazement card, so getting rid of their back row is really prevalent. And just board wiping and having Gamma, which is also where you can go Chaos Space Pitch, Absolute or anything, and it'll always be live, gives you access to Chaotic Ruler. So that's basically how somebody going second on cards. And then the spice of the deck is, I know you see Vanilla's, that's right, I played Hieratic's. Big shout out to my girl for this. I'm a big fan of Hieratic's, and shout out to Paul Cooper, even though despite what was going on, Disturb Agent got 2-0 on Dueling Book. If you guys want to see the replay, let me know. No, this deck, but anyway, this was primarily what I love the archetype about Hieratic since its release in 2012, 2011, and it was primarily like the idea was what can you use this deck based off going first or going second. Now G Sally Birdman is out 1, and Red Eyes Darkness Metal is errated, so this deck primarily would be stronger going second than going first because Tiffany's a Cyber Dragon. So you can board break with combinations of having a Cyber Dragon and then special summoning, and with this engine you can make Zeus. And that was also a bigger thing is I love Zeus. Zeus is probably the best XC monster currently printed out to date. Exciton Knight is one of my favorite cards, so he's a bigger Exciton Knight, which is chainable. So in combination with any of these cards where you can have this, and your opponent's gonna mostly keep a monster or whatever, this card is always live, and also he's a spell trap you can pop and anything like that. And also having Spirit mode, you can tribute a Hieratic monster and bring out Vanilla, which depending on whatever scenario you're in, it could come up. So this being a level 2 and level 6 is really good, just to cover up that portion of the engine. Then you have the regular Rocket package, which is self-explanatory. I really don't need to talk about this. This is just for illustration. If I play more Rockets, you play 3 Tracer, but it's primarily really good. Rocket St. Crown at 1 is more comfortable for this engine. Then you have the the Chaos package. I thought about playing Chaos Creator and Valkyrie, but like I said, this is a bit on theory. The first time playing the deck was yesterday, and it performed very well. I wouldn't make any changes to this. I wouldn't add another target. Behind side, probably be Valkyrie. We played this package right here. Some players main draw, some players don't, but being able to go Chaotic Ruler and add this out for free off the Gamma, or you tribute, and sometimes you can go Tefnut with the Sue, a tribute with this combination. You can get to Ruler, and you can add this off or add this. So primarily, you have many ways of getting to Chaotic Ruler Turbo, and so that's on one. And then we played. These are basically the one-ups from this point on. Just I over a little bit more stuff. The reason why there's a Foolish Burial and Giant V in the graveyard, I wanted to resolve Obscure as much as possible because it gets you to as many combo pieces as you want. And having Levineer in the graveyard sometimes, especially when you're playing on one safer, you can send this to the graveyard. So Foolish will just, it's basically playing more copies of Ravine without the discard, which is really good. Dragon Maid, I do have multiple tidings, but I didn't feel like Heart's normal summoning her and getting tiding and getting to Striker Dragon. It's a +1 or a neutral one, I would like to say. It just having a compulsion it doesn't get you to 2-card combos, what I'm saying. So this primarily served as another additional copies of this card without me having to pay the discard cost, which is really good. And these are once per turn. These are extenders primarily, which are always good, or add back. Safers are seemingly busted, but I didn't want to have multiple copies of a card where it's like on turn 1 I could summon this and then I don't have any other piece in my hand for me to combo with. So the deck never bricked, surprisingly. Never bricked, especially with a high number card of 50. The extra deck is Striker Dragon, Pisty, the 2 Spears, Quad Barrel, Romulus, Triple Burst, access code Alpalooza. These are all the Exceed monsters, Link monsters that I played. There also, you could have tried Triangle Dragon, which was also what I spoke to in theory with my team about. But primarily, access code is busted as hell, and when you get locked into darks, it's primarily what you want to summon from the extra deck. Triple Burst, I saw Sebastian Todd playing this card when he played at locals about 3 weeks ago. And I spoke to him about it. Hindsight 2020, I felt was really good. Romulus is a generic link too for this deck. Game Ravine, which is a plus. Quad Barrel, especially when you pop your own opponent's monster and you can bring back 2 rockets, is pretty potent. And also gets you to the access code combo. 2 Spirit Mode because you're playing Hieratic. So when people think you're gonna tribute they'll have the Spirit Mode, they'll have the Call by the Grave, and sometimes you can tell when they have the Call by the Grave, like you're gonna activate effect, and you activate effect, and you tribute, which was kind of crazy. I tribute Hieratic from my hand. My opponent was like, "What?" I summoned in a bounce, and they kept the seal on the field, and he was pretty mad about that. So that was the 1 Striker Dragon. Chaos Space and Million Chaos Space is insane. Like, that's probably the best spell card next to Power of Prosperity in this deck. Alpalooza, most of the time Alpalooza got banished off of Prosperity, but going first, like, shit comes up, can do Alpalooza for 2. But there's so many ways you can use this deck. It's really good. For Exceeds is these 2, Atum and Zeus. Primarily, people that have played Hieratic before know what Atum is really good for. The one card I really missed in the extra deck, it came up a couple times, was Gaia Dragon. I did theorize with it. I didn't think about it because something you can make Atum. I probably wouldn't use it for his effect, but I remember when I played against what deck was it? I think Eldridge. I made Atum and I swung into the Golden Lord, my opponent was like, okay, cool. And I made phase 2, I made Zeus and wiped the whole board. But the thing is, if I had the other guy charger, it would have been a double material Zeus, so I could have Zeus twice. So it's basically like it's like a control, and having a Zeus that can detach and board wipes your opponent is insane. Even against our virtual world matchup, game 1 was insane. Like I went he had a board, and I go quick launch, go rocket synchron, go striker, add boot sector, striker dragon, add back rocket synchron, special sub. My field was clear. Go Tefnude, special, make this guy swing into whatever, and then I made Zeus, and then I passed, and he was like, "What?" And then literally, when he tried to make a board, I Zeused him, and then I proceeded to kill him the following turn. So, hindsight, this combination was really, really annoying. For synchros was basically his deck is you want to summon him as much as possible. Chaotic Ruler, Savage, this, and these are really good going forward. This is generic, ratio. And this is my Dragoon out. Draco Corrupted Nether Soul Dragon. I summoned him once and my opponent scooped because it was Dragoon out. So basically the theory behind this card was he's a Dark Tuner level and a Dark Tuner and a non-Dragon Tuner. So it's a level 10. So you have Rocket Synchron and you have Hieratic that are level. You have level 6 targets, and you have Labradorite that can also synchro with my level. That's also a turn that could synchro with all their level 4 monsters in my deck, which is really good. Basically, he cannot be destroyed by battle, and if he destroys a monster by battle, he gets an additional attack on another monster my opponent controls. And during my standby phase, I can target one monster my opponent controls, and half his attack, original attack, and my opponent takes that damage. So, funny thing is, I got Nibiru'd, and they had Nibiru on the field, and then Nibiru was bigger than my token's attack. So I still had enough gas where I was like, okay. So I tribute summoned the token, I quick launch, and made this guy, and then my opponent was like, what the fuck, and he passed, and he just couldn't get over 4,000 body. So the thing also, I did get over Dragoons. When you swing into Dragoons, when it baits the numbers, it'll be at 4,000. So you swing, you kill Dragoons, and then if you have another monster, you can do anything. But basically, I never used the bird effect, but this was just primarily to deal with a big monster, the Dragoons. So even though you have access code talker, this can easily put the guy at charger, but I just wanted to use it because it was situational, it came up. Sideboard. Now, primarily, like I said, this was all based off of theory. There was no reason, Now, again, you can do this based off locals. So we play Quick Mirror Draco on this is self-explanatory because you're light and dark, so I say your Drytron. Draw, which is good, primary against all decks that search. Chaos Hunter, you could discard special summon. It's really good against the Tri-Brigade matchup. It's good against any deck that primarily banishes, Desire deck, Pop-Ups, Ready decks. It's just card on card from your hand, which can be any monster that you primarily would use in the graveyard the following turn. It's really good. 3 Skullmeister because more than once per turn, and you can target back row. I'm not scared of Revolt, so it's whatever. Instead of those ghost spells, if I'm going first against any deck that searches, Shared Ride is like Maxi. So I like more than 80% to the format is searching. Why not activate this card and more back row hate, 3 Twin Twister and Ready Reboot, and to go along with the Evenly Match and the Lightning Storm. So at that point out, I go from 6 cards that can do spell instruction to 10. So post side. That's the deck. Again, shout out to my girl, and hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile and subscribe for more awesome content. Until next time, guys. Peace.